Hi, welcome. Come in. My name is Jane Lockhart. I'm a designer and I want to show you one of our clients' homes that we recently completed. They were amazing and let us really help them create the vision they were looking for, which was a relaxed, casual country, because we are actually in the country on 50 acres. So come on in. So here's the thing. I think people think country means that it can't have formality to it, and that's just simply not the case. Most people want to live casually, relax, feel comfortable, and this house does exactly that. Now, having said that, you cannot ignore the view. The view is spectacular. This whole front face of the house overlooks the property that is part of the house. Basically, there are 50 acres here, so there's not a bad view. No matter where you go, it always looks good. So one of the things that Phil from Custom CADD was the architect. He made sure that we maintained this window. And of course, as the designer on the project, we were like super happy about that. And Phil, the builder from Chatsworth, also made sure that it was looked after and built in a way that will not have a lot of maintenance in the long run. And there's a film on the window to help with heat. So let me show you here. When you come in, we have this great mirror that's traditional that our homeowner provided. We were looking for something that had a little bit of French to it, and she found it. This is not applied molding. This is actually built out. So it's the traditional style where you have a panel in the back that's the wall, then a piece of cove or a detail, and then the actual strapping of the molding itself. This gives a lot more detail onto our walls, and of course it wraps up onto crown molding above. One of the other details that's here is our lighting that we built into the panel. So we left spot to make sure that we could actually have decorative fixtures. And you'll notice here, details like this were really important to us to make sure that our vents were blended in, or anything that was mechanical. We know we need it, but we don't need to see it. Now what you're looking at here is you're looking at a beautiful cabinet that's made for a record player, and that will holds the records in the bottom, and then the record player sits on top. So I'm going to show you here that this opens up like this, and you can keep all your records in here. You can leave it open while you're working, and then you just close it up again like that. So it really does make a nice difference. So this area over here became our champagne bar. So the nice thing about this is you have the burled wood. So this is actually wood, and it has a very traditional texture on it. So again, it looked more like furniture and less like kitchen cabinets, because one of the mandates was to make sure it didn't look like a bar. Now we did have on here, I'm just going to show you here, our trough sink. So this is basically so that you can put ice in here in your champagne or your beer or your drinks or whatever it is when you're entertaining. So again, it just becomes a secondary area, even though it looks like a prime area, that gets people out of the kitchen. So I'm standing in the great room. Our fireplace is double-sided, which means there's glass on this side and then there's glass on the other side. We did have posts in here that we had to contend with, so we opted to put the fireplace here as a little bit of a visual separation between the dining area and the great room, but it also hid some of our structure that was here. This also gave us a place to put in a sofa and a TV, because we really wanted this to be a functional space so that people could sit in here at the end of the day and watch television. So the sofa is with a light fabric. I know I can hear all of you, no, it's going to get dirty. But this fabric is made to be wash and wear. So you're able to lightly clean it if you use any kind of Dove, Dawn, or Palmolive, any of the light detergents, and just a little bit of water so that you can take stains out. So yes, you can have light as long as you pick carefully. And that goes with our carpet as well. You'll notice that there's a really big carpet, and we had two of them. We sewed them together. But the idea is to pick things that you can put in the space that look beautiful, but you don't have to worry too much about them, so that it's not so delicate that you can't live. These are swivels, which I thought was very important, so that you could turn and look outside at the view, because the view here is honestly is just so beautiful. Okay, so now we are in the adjoining dining room and kitchen area. So So instead of having a separate kitchen with another eating area, we've combined it all in one. And I would say that's probably one of the bigger trends. Here's our fireplace. The other side, this is our two-sided. And on here, also again for heat management and of course decoration, is we have porcelain sheets that are joined at the center, and they are what they call book matched. Basically, they're a reflection of each other when they're opened up like this. So here we have our wood floor, which I haven't mentioned, but I will now because you can see a good expanse of this. This is from a company called Vintage Flooring. This is called hand scraped floor. And what's beautiful about it is you can see the texture on the surface. This gives us excellent wearability. You can see I have my shoes on, and the beauty of that is that I can walk around in here with high heels on, flats, whatever it is, and I won't damage the floor. And even if I did, so you have dogs, let's say, running all over, you cannot see it in the floor because the floor already has a texture on the surface. I would also like to point out this color is extremely forgiving. It's neither light nor dark. It's right in the middle. Our table was made by one of our custom builders, Brice's, and this is natural walnut, solid, which has the grain marks or the saw marks, if you will, on the surface. You do not have the high polish that we saw in the 70s, 80s, and even early 90s, where you had to be so careful with your furniture. We're not there now. Now you can be super hard on it, and our homeowners are lovely and basically said, we want to live in our house. We don't have to worry about it. So this was a big aspect of it, that making sure that we were able to have a piece of furniture that people could sit around and spill all over, no problem. We're good. This looks like a piece of furniture, but it's actually a built-in. It was made to look like a buffet, and some of the details that make it look more like furniture as opposed to a built-in is it's raised off the floor, so you can see it's on legs or on feet. And it has this detail on the drawers. It's at the perfect height so that when you're serving, if you want to lay out a buffet across here, you can. And it gives us really the grounding that's really nice in a room like this, because you'll notice we have multiple different woods. So, and I know people worry, how do I know what wood? Do I have to have all the same wood? You do not. In this case, we have a medium colored floor, a dark almost black on here, which is also on the island and shows up over and over. This color, the walnut, is similar to our burled walnut on the other side, but it does have a blackened texture added into it. Now the kitchen. So really, this whole room started because of this, Le Cornu. This stove was something that our homeowner is an amazing cook, and she loves French cooking. She's just really, really good. I love French eating. I'm just not great at French cooking. So I always joke with her. I'm like, when's my meal coming? Anyway, this beautiful stove. This is from a brand called Le Cornu. They are French. They are known for their stoves, basically their heating. They also do other pieces of furniture that go along with this, but we opted to embed this in white, so we kept the space a little bit brighter and a little less formal. We mixed in the existing hood that you purchased with this, as opposed to building in a hood. But here's the thing we did. Again, we made it totally wash and wear. All the surfaces all across and around here are all made from porcelain sheets. So porcelain is different than quartz. This is porcelain here, for instance. This is a good example. This is actually a cutting board. Inside of this is all polished, but inside of this is all porcelain material all the way through. It's basically constructed and fired at a higher temperature than a quartz product, and there is not resin in this. So it makes it just that much harder, a harder surface for working on. Here it is wrapped around our sink. And this is a beautiful sink. This is from Shaw. And Shaw is really one of the best known sink makers. Apron sinks, also porcelain. And then this little gem. This guy's amazing. This is from a company called Waterstone. And what's so neat is when you pull this out, the wheel moves. So they're just a wonderful idea of how do you take a kitchen faucet that you have on display in front of you and make it interesting. And they're one of those brands that sort of thought through the process and said, maybe we can do something different. Now this idea here, this is tile embedded into the hardwood. Our homeowners came up with this and we love it. Instead of putting a mat down, this just makes this area that much more durable and adds such a nice feature to this area, tying in our darks and our lights so that we have it all here just in front of the island. So it's like I have a mat, but I don't have to worry because now I can spill on this and it'll be just fine. Okay, I'm going to show you the best principal bathroom you've ever seen. Come on in. Okay, first of all, it's all white. Second of all, it's really big. So for a lot of people, that just makes them happy right off the bat. But let me tell you the features in here that you want to consider if you get the chance to renovate your bathroom and you want to do something spectacular. First of all, our floor is a high gloss white tile. This tile is actually made for traction. Now, nothing is perfect, but pretty good for a high gloss tile. So you want to think about this when you're doing any kind of space and using a glossy surface. Now, this is also a design feature, but the beauty is when you have a small tile like this, I'm not going to fall and slip because I grab onto the cuts or the grout in the surface. But it also gives us texture. This is made from natural stone and a mix of inlaid mother of pearl. It's absolutely beautiful. What makes this super duper spectacular is the ceiling. The builder here, Chatsworth, did an amazing job, as did our team of designers. Jennifer and Stephanie did beautiful work in here. I know they sweat their way through it, making sure it worked. Key things here is we have crown molding with hidden or cove light, and then we went up into the turret area in order to really get the height in here where we had the advantage to be able to do it. The shower is not only people look at it, but it's highly functional. But here's something that the homeowner really, really wanted. It had done previously in a home. Like, these guys were not newbies. They knew what they liked. And because this is a steam shower, this is a bench built in to take a steam. So it's very convenient. The controls for the steam shower are here just off to the side. And then we added in the niche, which is lit with LED that's waterproof, so that it's got a really glowy effect. Now, I know at 6 o'clock in the morning, you're probably not super thrilled about the glowy effect, but let me tell you, it really does add that soft, warm feel when you need it. Also in here, we have our shower area, which, so you don't have to use the steam shower specifically, but we walk in, the floor is sloped. And sort of here, it's a little echoey because I'm in a glass room right now. And you'll notice that our controls are a little bit lower. So your controls can be wherever you want them to be. They can be lower, they can be higher. They don't even have to be beside your features. They can be off to another wall. Just happen to work well for us here that they're a little bit lower, so they're out of line of sight of view because our niche is what our feature is with our lighting. Then we've added in gold hand shower and a rain shower head over top, and then lined all of our bathroom glass in basically a metal, so it looks really nice in here. One can only say that the piece de resistance in this room is the beautiful tub that is settled into the 6 windows behind it. This is actually a turret on the outside of the house. On the inside, you can see it houses the bathtub in the bathroom here. It's absolutely beautiful. It has a small dome over top of the tub as well, and in that is a beautiful chandelier. There is just nothing more beautiful than this space in its light colors. The wallpaper here has a little bit of sparkle as well that picks up on the tub detail. It's just a place that you just want to spend time. It just says luxury. It is absolutely a stunning space.